Playing video games with young kids can be just one of the best parts of the overall video game hobby. You get to help them have an adventure, help them learn to read in a lot of instances, help them with their hand-eye coordination, and you also get to help them just have a wholesome sort of hobby. Now, one of the issues with younger kids is a lot of times their hands are too small to use a pro controller like for the Nintendo Switch. And there are a number of companies out there that are making kid-orientated controllers, but quite frankly, they're, at least what we've tested so far, they're not very good. Hey everyone, Gary here with Rocksaw Productions. Thanks for stopping by and checking out our episode today. I hope you do like it and appreciate it. Now, what I want to know down in the comments here, do you play games with your kids? Do you play games with your parents? Let me know. My dad bought us an Atari 2600 back in the early 1980s. Never played it with this. I have some brief memories of him playing Pong with us, and he would occasionally play Duck Hunt, but that was it. He never understood my affinity for video game playing, so even to the last visit that we had with him, he kind of asked, when are you going to grow up and stop playing video games? Probably never. So recently I reviewed the Kid Moments wireless controller, which is shaped like a puppy dog here, and it's a really cute controller that doesn't deliver at all. It's a terrible D-pad, terrible lag and latency, just not an overall good design. Now that video was requested by one of our Patreons, Eugene, aka EC Myers Vids. If you haven't done so yet, check out his channel. He does amazing NES live streams. He's going through the entire library from A to Z. He also likes watching me suffer. So he had originally requested that I review this here. This is the IINE wireless controller for the Nintendo Switch, and this one here is the Kitty Cat controller. Now, he asked me to review this one to begin with. I'm like, listen, I'm not a huge dog fan, or not a huge cat fan. Let me check out the dog controller. He's like, that sounds fair. Oh, that wasn't fair. Stop your laughing, Eugene. So that controller was so bad, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this one a shot because it can't be any worse, can it? Can it? So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to take this, we're going to throw it on the bench, we're going to see how it comes out of the box, check the fitment, check the button movement, check the D-pad, then we're going to play some games, including the demo of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Let's go get started. Oh, I am not going to enjoy this. Eugene, stop. You're already laughing. Why? Why are you laughing? All right, so looking at the box itself, you can actually see it has a pretty cute design. I can't argue that. You can see kind of the cat ears. It's the IINE wireless controller for Nintendo Switch. Here's a look at the side, just a side profile. And then on the back, nothing in English. Thankfully, I rescued my handy-dandy X-Acto knife from Tom and Lacey from Do You Nerd. Make sure you check them out. Wow, it's hard to get out of there. Actually has decent packaging, I gotta say that. So there's the controller. The internal packaging was thought out well. So for now, we'll set the box aside. The controller itself, there we go. I will say that it is smaller than the puppy controller. It is actually smaller. Now, the one thing, the D-pad was terrible. This feels a lot better, quite honestly. Now, the analog sticks are smaller. The shoulder buttons are digital, not analog. Now, and I was wondering this too, the L and R are actually part of the cat's ears on the face. The buttons are pretty tightly placed together. For me, probably a little bit too close, but for a kid, this is not bad. And that's kind of the opposite of, you know, this here where the buttons were small and they were spread out. Here they're small, but they're closer together. It makes more sense for a kid. I'm digging that so far. The D-pad feels much better on here. Looks like you have a home capture, maybe a turbo button, minus and plus, ABXY. It does use USB-C for power. You've got a reset button in the back. Comes with a USB-C cable, which is nice. Let's take a look at the instructions real quick. The manual starts off in, I'm not sure if that's Chinese or Japanese. I apologize. I can't read the difference between the two of them. So let's take a look at the English instructions. And looks like we can confirm that that is indeed a turbo button. Now, how to pair it. Connecting the controller to a Switch console, turn on the Switch. Go into the home screen and then press controller. Okay. So you press and hold the home and the Y button simultaneously for 3 to 5 seconds, and then you'll see the LEDs on the face cycle through. Let's see. It can be used in wired mode. Turning on turbo and auto fire, so it does both. So basically hold down the turbo and then press whatever button, and then you can press and hold the turbo button again to exit that. You can adjust the vibration strength. That is a nice feature. So keep your controller connected with the Switch. Set on the Switch controllers, find controllers. Press and hold the D-pad up button to increase the strength of vibration. Press the plus, and to decrease the strength, press the minus. When you are finished with your setting, let go of the D-pad up button. So one thing on here is I don't see any reference to NFC, and I don't see any reference to gyro controls. So we will test both of those. I'm not sure I like the ergonomics of the kitty ears. I think I would rather have them be a part of the face here, but then it might also cause an issue there. But in the hand, it doesn't feel bad. This is just awkward for me, but that's bigger hands compared to, this I thought was actually really comfortable from start to finish. But just this D-pad was so bad. Like here, you can still see it just goes right in. You can't roll it. Whereas on here, like if I was going to do a dragon uppercut, I can roll it. Same with Hadouken and the spinning sidekick and whatnot. That feels a lot better. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to pair this to our Switch. And we're going to see how it plays. Meow. Charge up a kitty cat controller here. And I believe it said hold home and Y for 3 to 5 seconds. And now the lights are cycling. Press L and R. And it is paired. That's good to see. So now that we're paired, let's actually go in. Let's do find controllers. And it says D-pad up and plus and minus to change. So I'm not really noticing a difference from one to the next, but I mean, it's acknowledging button presses, so okay. So we're going to dive into the demo here of Kirby. I have actually not played this yet, so that's the left analog stick. Did we wind up on Crash Bandicoot's Beach? So that's B. A. Now, I have said from the moment that I saw this game that it looked like it was going to be very similar to Mario Odyssey as far as that engine. Got it! Okay, this is stupid cute. I have to admit that so far this isn't terrible. Yeah, I am not digging the ears coming out of the L&R. Just not liking that a whole lot myself. This almost looks like New Donk City. Got him! Okay, this is so cute. Now, I have to admit, I do have this pre-ordered on the Castlemania Games, CastlemaniaGames.com website. I'm glad that I do now at this point. Oh, this is terrific. All right, I have to go to the home screen here because if I don't, I'm not going to stop playing it because that's phenomenal. Let us go, and I'm actually navigating this using the D-pad here. Yes, it's a kitty cat controller designed for kids. We're going to Street Fighter because I need to test out this D-pad. All right, we're going to start first with the analog stick. And last time I played against Ken, he kicked my rear end, but it was a really good fight. Ooh! Oh, nice counter. Okay, let's see if we can get the dragon uppercut. Nope, did not pull it off with the analog stick. We're going to try the D-pad next, but that was a lot better than what the puppy dog controller was. Oof. Yes, you can roll the D-pad. And I can pull off the dragon uppercut. Oh! All right, let's see if we can get it here. This is the greatest cat controller ever. I know how ridiculous that sounded, but it worked great with Street Fighter. We love to see that. We're going to dive into now into the NES Online. Now, with this, I am going to specifically use the D-pad. Now, one thing I have to admit, until the NES Classic, I didn't realize that if you press down twice, that Little Mac would do that thing. Press the button and it responds. I mean, granted, it's Glass Joe, so it's not that hard. Let's go, actually, to work just fine with that. Let's go to Yeah Yeah Beavis. Now, let's see if I can enter that specific code again to play as John Riggs. There we go. We can play as Riggs again. Last time I played as John with the soldering iron. This time we're going to do it with the spoon. This is almost like a Konami game, you might say. All right, Yeah Yeah Beavis works just fine, which, I mean, why shouldn't it? You know what? Let's try Mario Odyssey because that should work for us as far as motion controls go. And when we're done with this, we are going to check Amiibo, which, do I still have my Amiibo here? I do not. I have to grab an Amiibo. Okay, so it is working with wiggling the controller around as far as those controls go. I need to get up there somehow. I never noticed that there were coins up there. Charms, whatever you want to call them. The hats. Got those. Yeah, I mean, this is working wonderfully. I am absolutely digging this. This, honestly, is what I had hoped the dog controller was going to work like. Yes, this is doing everything it needs to do. Except for keep me from dying there. All right, so let's go home. All the button presses are working terrifically. This is actually really good. Go down to Amiibo. And just for our favorite square peg. Nothing so far. So it may not work with Amiibo. Okay, so we're going to try one other one here. This is actually our little inkling that we use with the puppy controller. And does not look like it will go ahead and work with Amiibo. So that is important to note, which the dog controller surprisingly did. But it didn't do a whole lot else really well. So let's go home, We're going to do one last game here, and we're going to go to the Super NES online, and we're going to test out the Turbo using Star Fox. So Turbo and B. So Turbo is working there. We're going to do Turbo and B again. And now it is auto-firing. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. So as Star Fox is getting ready to take off here, what are some of my initial thoughts on here? First of all, it works as a controller, which is more than I can say about the dog controller. It's actually not bad. For an adult, I think I have average size hands. I don't have big hands, I don't have small hands. I don't like the Xbox controllers because I think they're too big. I do like the PlayStation controllers. I like the Switch Pro controller. For me, the Joy-Cons are a little bit too small. That being said, I think this, for me, is a little bit on the small side, but for its intended audience, for kids, this should be good. The D-pad, which I am using here, is responsive. I was able to pull off the Dragon Uppercut on Street Fighter. I was able to pull off a lot of moves on Street Fighter. Now, for me, just on a controller such as this, I do actually prefer the analog stick, so I am going to switch to that. I'm not the biggest fan of the cat ear on the LNR. I just don't, I think that point, for me, again, larger hands, I don't like that point. I wish that that was more built into the face of the controller itself versus an actual controller input, a button. But above and beyond that, the rumble is really good. The Turbo is really easy to set up and use. The D-pad is usable. Overall, as far as just a controller goes, it's not bad. It's better than a Joy-Con. I will say that much. It is definitely better than a Joy-Con. And it is something that I can see. There's a couple friends that I have that, like Breezy, this would be a good controller for her for the Switch because she likes stuff like this. Now, granted, she has a Switch Lite, which this will work with the Switch Lite, but you can't connect it to a television, so I don't know how much she would want to play in handheld mode. Obviously, it doesn't work with my favorite way to play in handheld mode, the Fixture Gaming S1, due to the overall size. It's just simply too small. Battery life has been good. The fact it is USB-C is good overall. I mean, this actually has a lot of positives going for it, especially, part of it too is it is benefiting from coming after the dog controller, and that thing was a dog. But let's go ahead, let's wrap things up. Okay, I have to admit, being a dog person, I was really hopeful the puppy controller was going to be the way to go. No, it's not. It pains me to admit this. Cats rule, dogs drool. This is actually a really decent controller for the price. I think I paid about $23, $24 for this. I did buy it myself, and if you want to pick one of these up, I'll have a link down below in a pinned comment. For what it is, it's really decent. The D-pad, like you saw in Street Fighter, I was able to pull up the Dragon Uppercut, the spinning sidekick, the Fireball, the Shuriken, Hadouken. I was able to pull it all off without any issues. I was able to go ahead and use the D-pad as a D-pad. It actually worked. The analog sticks were decent. From an ergonomic standpoint, I don't love the kitty ears here, but you know what, for a kid, they'll be just fine, I think. They'll be able to get their fingers back behind here and it'll function without a problem. It's lightweight enough so that a kid can use this and not be fatigued over time with using it either. USB-C for power to charge it up. I mean, more and more things are going that way. Glad to see that here. The rumble was good. I didn't notice a difference when I changed rumble intensities, but the fact that it gives you that option, save a little bit of battery life if you back that down all the way. Did not work with Amiibo, which Most third-party controllers don't. It also did not wake the system from sleep. Again, most third-party controllers don't do that. And again, this is at the lower end of the pricing tier at under $30. Everything else on it, you know, I was worried about the face buttons being too close together. I didn't have an issue with it, and I've got medium-sized hands. Like, I don't have huge hands, I don't have teeny tiny hands. It was actually fun to play with, and you know, yes, I felt the difference between this and my Pro controller. I will never mistake this for my Pro controller. But the thing is, I can hand this to Ellie, and as she's learning to play games with me, or Cassie, my oldest daughter, as she's playing games with me, and know that they're not going to be at a competitive disadvantage. Well, maybe I shouldn't give it to them because they won't be at a competitive disadvantage. I kid. But overall, for the money, I mean, yes, it looks like a cheap gimmick, but it actually works. I mean, it works a lot better than many other third-party controllers that I've tried with the Switch. Now, absolutely love the demo of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I do have this pre-ordered through CastleManiaGames.com, like I mentioned earlier on. Now, one of the cool things too with that is, in the past, Best Buy had their Gamers Club and everything, where you get money off when you pre-ordered games and other bonuses and whatnot. Ryan's kind of trying to bring that back with his pre-orders that he's doing, because you can earn Castle Cash. It's his rewards program. The more you spend, the more you earn, and Castle Cash is just like cash. There's no blackouts or anything like that on here. The other nice thing too is this is a direct fulfillment pre-order. So I should have this on launch day. Amazon can't always deliver that. So that is very, very cool. Make sure you check out Castlemania Games with all of their games that they have available for pre-order. I know I'll be mentioning that here in a few minutes as well. And if you do want to pick one of these up, as I mentioned, I'll have a link down below in a pinned comment. It's actually really serviceable. I am floored at how usable this is. And Eugene, I get the last laugh. Not, well, I'll give you the last laugh. Thanks, Eugene. And again, thanks for being a supporter of the channel. I do appreciate that. Now, if you are looking for other episodes and videos that we've done with other controllers for the Switch, cables, adapters, pickups that we've done, those episodes are coming up for you right now. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you want to help support Rock Solid Productions and be a part of our community, there's a number of different ways you can do so. First and foremost, join us over on our Patreon page or become a channel member here on YouTube. By joining through either one of those methods, you get early access to just about all of our video content, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. We also give you shout outs at the end of each and every one of our videos. You can also pick up some awesome Rock Solid Productions swag. We've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and more available through our Teespring store on screen right now too. You can also pick up some of our awesome 3D printed cartridge stands, Amiibo holders, Nintendo DS holders, and more by visiting our 3D printer store on screen right now as well. Links for everything will be down below in a pinned comment. If you want to stay up to date with everything we have going on here at Rock Solid Productions, make sure that you're following us on the different social media networks. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions, Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK, and Twitter at Rock Solid Studios. If you're looking to pick this and other retro and modern gaming accessories up, make sure that you head on over to CastleManiaGames.com. He has a feature over there called Castle Cash, where the more you spend, the more you earn towards future purchases, and Castle Cash is just like cash. He also offers convenient payment plans for more expensive items over $50. Finally, make sure that you use promo code ROCKSOLID10 when you're shopping at CastleManiaGames.com, as it can save you up to 10% on most items on the website. Again, thank you for watching this episode, and I cannot wait to see you again soon.